Today is Thursday, November the 26th. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. Okay, guys, I don't have any tea. I'm drinking water, which I only have like just a little bit of water left. But as for yesterday, Anchor's website was down for most of the day yesterday. It started around maybe 7 or so in the morning and didn't come back up until 7 or 8 in the evening or at night, Pacific Standard Time, because they were having issues with their servers through Amazon Web Service. So which I could have uploaded a video, but then I was just like, since I knew I would have all of Thursday to do whatever I needed to do, I was just like, I'll just do 2 episodes for Thursday because I was planning on doing an episode today anyway. So today you're going to get 2 episodes. And now I can record the episode that I planned on recording yesterday. So here we are. All right. Yeah. I'm just going to go right into this. It's so crazy. So I have to tell you what happened. And it's funny that I get to tell this story because it goes into what my daily thought is about. So I love this. So I wake up maybe once or twice now, because at first I was waking up like 4 times, but now it's gotten a whole lot better. So I wake up about once or twice, maybe 3 times every night, depending. And I went to bed last night around 10:15-ish. And I woke up a little bit after midnight. Oh yeah, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you're watching this on YouTube, Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by notification bell on YouTube. All right. So anyways, I woke up around about 12:15 or so, a little bit after 12 this morning, I guess you could say. So I got 2 hours of sleep, woke up, went to the bathroom, and then went back to sleep. Then I slept for another 4 hours. So that's 6 that I got, because I got 2 before and then 4 afterwards. So I woke up around 4 something. And for some reason, because I usually have something playing in the background. So when I was picking a movie to set to play in the background so I could go back to sleep at 4 something, I started going through all the deals that were available, because they're running Thanksgiving deals on all the movies and stuff. And I had seen a deal on the movie Peninsula, which is I don't know if you want to call it a sequel, but it's that Train to Busan or whatever, or Busan movie, which I bought that back, I think, a month ago. I just haven't watched it yet because I'm not really big on zombie movies. I have to be in a certain mood, which I haven't seen World War Z yet. And I own World War Z. I've owned World War Z for about 3 years now and still haven't watched it yet. But I had watched the trailer for the sequel-ish, even though it's not a sequel, but it is a sequel, movie Peninsula, which is the sequel to the movie I was telling you about, or semi-sequel. And I was like, wow, that looks really cool. They were showing all of the stuff. I was like, now watch I go back to sleep and I have a dream about some damn zombies. Why did I put that into existence? So I had a dream about the zombies. I didn't get caught or anything. But the funny part of the dream was the dream before the zombie dream, where I was somewhere and these white babies were delivered. And they had called my name and they're handing me this baby, this white baby. I have to be specific because there's something, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. So they're handing me this white baby. And as they're handing me the baby's head is going to the side because I wasn't giving the baby any support. Because for those who don't know, when you hold kids, especially if you're new to holding babies, you always need to make sure that you're supporting their neck because they can't hold up their neck on their own, yada, yada, yada. And that's not good for them. So as they're handing me the baby doesn't have any support on his neck. And one of my coworkers that I work with in real life happened to be in this dream. So then he's running to help, and he's like, grab the baby's head, make sure you support the neck, make sure you support the neck. And then I'm like, okay, but in real life, obviously I know to do this stuff. So I have the baby, and I'm like, why are you giving me this baby, is what I'm saying to the person who's handing it to me. And something happened where I adopted the baby, but I didn't ask to adopt any kids. I didn't ask to adopt any babies because I wasn't the only one who got a baby. Someone else got a baby too. And I'm like, I didn't ask for this. So finally, that person that I was telling, hey, I didn't ask to adopt this kid, they just left, which is similar to one of my favorite movies, if you haven't seen it, Baby Boom, which is a good movie. I might do a review on that sometime. But so they just left, and I'm stuck with this white baby. So then, for some reason, I don't know if you remember this song. It's the roof is on fire, or whatever. So I set the baby down on a table, and it's sitting up on its own. And I'm like, the roof is on fire. And then I forgot what the other part to it. We don't need something, let the burn. And on that part, the baby started mumbling that part. Because I had stopped. I was like, the roof is on fire. And then the baby started mumbling that part after it. And then I got so excited that the little baby did that. I was like, you know that song? I was talking to the baby. I was like, you know that song? Oh my God. And then I'm giving the little baby a hug. I'm like, this my little, and then in with the A. And this is a white baby. I was like, this my little nigga. So I'm doing this. And I got all happy, and then after being mad for a second that I was forced into this adoption, now I'm all happy because the baby knows the song to the roof is on fire. And I'm all happy and stuff. And then everything segues to the zombie dream, where the zombies are chasing after me and some other people, and then I had to free somebody else to get them out the fence, where I had to pull the fence apart and do everything else. But the zombie part was whatever. But I thought it was kind of interesting that I watched the trailer for the zombie movie. And I said, when I go back to sleep, this is going to be what I end up dreaming about. And I just spoke it into existence. Prime example, be careful what you say because you might talk stuff into existence. But that's not my daily thought. My daily thought is sleep. That's my daily thought. My daily thought is sleep. People really don't pay attention to their sleep. They don't realize how important sleep is. Sleep is an important thing. Your body has to rejuvenate, it has to rest, it has to recuperate, all the R's. It has to relax. It can't do that if it's going. It's almost like if you get in a car and you drive and you don't stop. Eventually, the car is going to run out of gas. And there are people like that who just keep going, and they won't stop. They won't slow down. And I'm not saying, because there's a caveat with everything. I'm not saying become complacent. I'm not saying I'm endorsing mediocrity. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is that recognize that you're human. And sometimes, yeah, you can go without sleep. You can get 2 hours or 4 hours and be good. But to do it on a regular, it's rare that somebody can do that. Not impossible, but it's rare. And for the most part, your body, you need to be ready so you can go back into battle again. And like I said before, I'm not saying be complacent. I'm not saying be mediocre, because some people take sleeping to the extreme. It's all about balance, as I mentioned before on my podcast. It's all about balance. You can't sleep all the time. I know of some people who that's all they do. If there was a degree that could be had in sleep, I know some people that would have the bachelor's, the master's, the PhD, everything. They'd have it. There are some people I know of that they don't play with their sleep and they sleep all the time. I don't necessarily believe in that. I don't judge people who do that. It's just I don't believe in it. However, as I said at the beginning, you don't want to be just constantly going and never giving your body a break. And that's the whole point. You don't want to be constantly going, giving your body a break. And I'm going into this for a daily thought because, like I said before, I talk about more emotional stuff and things like that and whatever. But now I'm starting to pivot a little bit towards health stuff, financial stuff, and everything else that I had mentioned before that I would eventually start doing. And this is a health thing. Your body, if it doesn't have time to recuperate, it lowers your immune system ability to fight off things. And you want a strong immune system. Obviously, other things play a role in a strong immune system, vitamin C, vitamin A, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to sleep, sleep is one of the major things that plays a role in your immune system and also in your sanity. Because one thing that I've noticed with sleep, it can give you some answers sometimes. There's an old saying, let's see if I can quote this correctly. It's sleep is the mother of all counsel, I believe is what the exact saying is. If not, I'm close. And what that means is that when when you can't wrap your mind around something, sleep, usually if you sleep on it, you may wake up refreshed where your brain's like, okay, I can solve the issue now. And not necessarily saying wake up refreshed after an 8 hour sleep. It could be a 15-minute nap is what it could be, or a 30-minute nap where you wake up refreshed and you're like, oh, okay, wait a second, this is making sense now. And that's also where people say, if before you say certain things, sometimes sleep on it first. I'm sure you've heard that before, where if you're ready to say something and someone's like, well, before you say what you're going to say, sleep on it. And that will give you time to determine what's what. But sleep is an important thing. It's a really important thing. And I didn't know how important sleep was until this year. I really didn't. And some people are serious about their sleep. If you wake some people up out their sleep that I know, they will straight up fight you, like literally fight you. So, you know, it's a serious thing. And if you are not getting your sleep, make an effort to get some sleep, even if you can get a nap in during the day. I used to take naps during the afternoon, but I quit because I like to get as much done as I can when I can during the day, and then just sleep at nighttime and do that. So that's why I usually go to bed at 9 or 10 versus I used to go to bed at midnight or 1 in the morning and then wake up at 6 or 7 or whatever and do it that way. So it just you just have to find out, figure out what brings you balance. How does it balance out for you? Regardless of whatever routine you choose, just make sure that it's a routine where you're getting the appropriate amount of rest because your sleep is very important. And it's also cool when you get to dream because you already know listening to my podcast that I've had some crazy dreams like the one that I had this morning about the white baby. The zombies, not so crazy. The white baby incident, that was a little out there. But I told you about some of those other dreams I had back to back to back to back. But also when you're dreaming, that's helping your mind really decompress is what's happening. It's taking all the information because as you're going throughout the day, your brain is processing all that information. Your brain holds more information than a hard drive could ever. I know they're like, oh, well, hard drives hold this. And people have tried to debate this. And I don't believe that a hard drive, an actual computer hard drive, can ever hold more than the human brain. And in my psychology class, my psychology teacher at the time, she pretty much leaned the same way. She's like, your brain holds a lot of information, a ridiculous amount of information. And just to give you an example, which I think I brought this up before, think of a song that you haven't heard of in years, but then the song comes on the radio and you know the words. You haven't sung it, you haven't heard it, but it comes on. Like, okay, if Spice Girls comes on right now, I bet you a lot of you who listen to this podcast, if you haven't heard a Spice Girl song in a minute, like back to some of their first songs when they first came out, like To Become One, which is one of my favorite songs, you'll, as soon as it comes on, you'll just know it, even if you haven't heard it in 5 years. The brain holds on to a lot of stuff. Just like when I was doing that episode about recall, being able to recall things, certain things will come across certain things will come across your life, and then it'll make you think for a second, and then all of a sudden you recall something that happened 10 or 15 years ago. And in order for you to recall it, that means the information has to be in your brain. Just like I remember when I was a kid and we went to Chimney Rock Mountain. It was my mother and I and my cousins and my auntie and so on and so forth. And we went fishing and stuff in the mountains. We went, I forgot the name of that other mountain that we went to in North Carolina. But I remember we ran into someone else who was staying in a different cabin than we were staying in. And they happened to have brought their Nintendo with them as well. And we were cool with them and stuff while they were vacationing. There's so many things and things that I don't even think about, as I mentioned before, where something will happen and then it'll make me remember something from 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. And it's like, wow. You know, when you're sleeping, it's basically your mind is decompressing is what's happening, because all of that information you take in every day, your brain's like, okay, we got to shrink this down is what we have to do, because we just took in a whole lot of information. Okay, fellas, file this over here, you file that over there. all this is going on. So when such and such gets up in the morning, everything's gonna be right and in their head doesn't explode. Is what it is. So when it comes to sleep, sleep is an important thing for that as well as many other things too. So yeah, that's my daily thought that I wanted to do yesterday, but Anchor's website was down. So I couldn't upload the audio if I wanted to. But now that it's back up, I get to upload it and you get 2 episodes on Thanksgiving. Yay! All right, guys. So that's all I have. KIRWK. Oh, and yeah, for my next episode, which will be my Thanksgiving episode, I have a very special and awesome announcement that I get to tell you guys. I'm so happy. So if you're listening, make sure you check out the next episode. It is going to be titled, I think Thanksgiving Thoughts is what the episode will be titled. But there will be a special announcement on that episode because I received some news and I can tell you now that the ink is dry. So yeah, super duper happy. Anyways, until next time, be blessed.